Hey, my name's Alonda. Welcome back to the channel. About a month ago, I released a video talking about my latest DEXA scan, and many of you asked me to compare both the DEXA scan and my in-home Renpho scale. So this is that video. Now, back in 2025, August of 2025, I made a video, I will link it somewhere up here, where I compared 4 different scans. My DEXA scan, my in-home scan, a in-body scan, and a 4th scan. And I did a side-by-side comparison. Well, with my latest scan, y'all have asked for it again. And for anyone who's new, I lost 82 pounds with the help of both name brand tirzepatide and compound tirzepatide. And with those 82 pounds, I am now in body recomposition. Yes, I do still plan to lose more weight, but I want to make sure I'm building my body in the same sentence. So, with that stated, I do rely heavily on my Renpho scale. Let's get into it. Now, for the purpose of this video, when I relate to the Renpho scale, it is also known as a Bioelectronics Impedance Scale, so a BIA. Now, I am not a doctor, I am not a nurse, I am not in the medical field. If you haven't figured that out, I'm a teacher. So I'm a lady on a weight loss journey who is trying to live her best life while losing this weight. Now, I do rely on the DEXA scan to try to tell me what I'm doing and where I need to go. But if you know, you know. Ideally, you take those every couple of months. Well, I don't want to be doing something every couple of months just to find out that I'm doing it wrong. So that's why I rely heavily on my at-home Renpho scale. Now, I also have a Hume body pod at home, but that's the one my children tend to use. So to be honest, there's really no difference. A scale that tracks you from top to bottom. And let me explain that. The DEXA scan, you lay down and it is basically an x-ray of everything. The in-home scans, depending on what type, particularly the Renpho that I have and the Hume Health Body Pod that I have, they give 8 pulsations throughout the body. Some of our at-home digital scales only measure waist down and everything else is an estimate. So the one I'm using, the Renpho Morpho Nordis scale, I'll put a picture here because I'm pretty sure I just said that wrong. That one tracks from head to toe. Okay, so from head to toe. DEXA is a medical grade x-ray that kind of does a breakdown of the body. Now, this is why this video took so long. And I want to make this very, 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 very clear. They don't match and line up. The terminology for your DEXA scan does not align with the terminology of the home scale. So it's not as easy as saying, oh, my skeletal muscle mass is this, and compared to this, it's not that simple because the DEXA operates differently than the scale. So for this video, I'm gonna try to do the most closest comparisons, just like I did in my August 2025 video. And like I said, I'll link it somewhere up here if you want to see those comparisons. So first and foremost, the one thing to know is that I did both scans on the exact same day, different times, but on the exact same day, which was July 9th, 2026. I was actually trying to do my in-body scan so I could have the 3 comparisons. However, I wasn't able to get there in time to do that. Okay, so short and sweet, let's dive in. I want to show you what the DEXA paperwork looks like. When you go, this is what they're going to go over with you during your scan. It is not a comparison to the Renpho scale. Here it says that my visceral fat is at a 2.63. Keep that in mind. It also gives your skeletal mass, the T-score. For me, it was a positive 2.3. Again, unless you understand what that number means, it does not do me any good. Here we go. We have the Renpho, which is more person-to-person friendly. It shows here my body water mass is at 84 pounds. However, the DEXA scan does not break down water in the body, so you won't even get that score when you do your DEXA. My visceral fat here is categorized at a 15, which is a little concerning because a month prior it was down to 13. but whatever. But I just told you on the DEXA, it said it was a 2.63. So you see how they don't go comparison to comparison? That's why when I did my scan back in August of 2025, it took me a month then to also go through and break down all the comparisons. And this is with the help of ChatGPT and Gemini, because I printed with both and then compared the two to make sure it was lining up correctly. So let's break down what we can show as a head-to-head. For the DEXA scan, according to me laying down on the table, I am 191.6, but when I stand on my Renpho scale, it gives me 189.8. And again, this was done on the exact same day. The difference is a negative 1.8. My body percentage on the DEXA said 37.4. My Renpho scale said 39.5, a positive of 2.1. My fat mass, 71.7 according to DEXA, and 75 even according to the Renpho scale. So a 3.3 gain on the Renpho scale. Remember, BIA is the scale. Lean mass versus fat mass, pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. So 114.1 for DEXA, 114.8 for my Renpho. And then my bone mass, again, how it is calculated is a little different, but we have 5.8 versus 7.8, and that is a 2 pound gain as far as the Renpho scale. Now, if you look overall, you see the variance to be a positive 2.1. For the most part, the Renpho adds a little more weight than the DEXA scan. And of course, the DEXA is seen as the golden standard. But unless you truly understand what those numbers mean and how to negate those numbers, having an at-home scale would probably suit you best. But again, here are the breakdowns. Yeah. The Renpho scale estimates the lipid levels based on the total water in my body, whereas the DEXA scan looks at the tissue. So again, it's not comparable. We try to get as close as we can. Again, here we go, breakdown to breakdown, my weight, lean mass, fat mass, and again, those same numbers. So ideally, a DEXA scan is great for a long-term comparison, but if you're looking for trends in day-to-day, I would definitely suggest getting a in-home. And I'm saying Renpho, but you can use any kind of scale. They're not sponsoring this video. It's just the scale that I have been using. Like I said earlier, I do have a Hume Health scale as well, and it does the same thing. So yeah. I hope this was helpful. Overall, there was a disparity of 2.1, but everything else was pretty much in line. Y'all take care.